The sun was dipping below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. I watched from my porch, a warm mug of chamomile tea in my hands, as my daughter, Lily, chased fireflies in the field. Her laughter, light and free, was the sweetest sound in the world. This farm, this life, was everything to me. It was the peace I'd craved after years of living on the edge, a stark contrast to the dust and danger of my past. My name is Sarah. To most folks around here, I'm just a single mom trying to make a living off the land, a little rough around the edges, maybe, but kind enough. They don't know about the other Sarah, the one who earned the nickname Shadow in places where shadows meant the difference between life and death. They don't know about the Green Beret uniform, the sniper rifle that felt like an extension of my own arm, or the quiet resolve that allowed me to do what needed to be done. And I intended to keep it that way. The farm wasn't much, but it was ours. It had taken every penny of my savings, every ounce of sweat, to get it running after I left the service. We had chickens, a small vegetable patch, and a couple of goats. It was honest work, and it was safe. Or so I thought. Trouble started subtle, like a low hum you almost don't notice. First, a fence was cut. Then, a few chickens went missing. I dismissed it as coyotes at first, or maybe a mischievous teenager. But the feeling in my gut, that old familiar prickle of unease, told me otherwise. My senses, honed by years of training, were on high alert. I found myself checking locks twice, scanning the tree line, and sleeping with my old service pistol under my pillow. One evening, after Lily was asleep, I heard it, the distinct crunch of boots on gravel, too heavy for an animal, too deliberate for a curious neighbor. My heart hammered against my ribs, not from fear, but from a cold, controlled surge of adrenaline. This wasn't a prank. This was a threat. I moved silently to the window, peering through a gap in the curtains. 3 figures, dark and bulky, were making their way towards the barn. They carried tools, and in the dim moonlight, I caught the glint of something metallic that wasn't a wrench. My blood ran cold. They were here to take more than chickens. "Not on my watch," I whispered, the old fire rekindling in my eyes. The years might have softened my hands, but they hadn't dulled my instincts. I slipped into my old fatigues, the ones I'd kept for just in case, and retrieved my rifle from its hidden compartment. It felt heavy and familiar in my grasp, a grim comfort. I loaded it, the click of the bolt a sharp punctuation in the quiet house. I crept out the back door, moving through the tall grass like a ghost. The night air was cool, carrying the scent of honeysuckle and danger. I circled around the barn, using the shadows as my shield. My mind was clear, every detail observed, every potential threat assessed. This wasn't about vengeance, it was about protection. Lily was asleep inside, innocent and vulnerable, and I would tear the world apart to keep her safe. I found a good vantage point behind a stack of hay bales, the rifle resting against my shoulder. Through the scope, I could see them clearly now. 3 men, rough-looking, talking in low, guttural voices. They were trying to break into the barn storage shed, where I kept the tractor and some valuable tools. One of them had a crowbar, another a large bolt cutter. The third, a burly man with a bandana, was holding a pistol. My finger found the safety, flicking it off with a soft click. My breathing was slow, even, just like in training. I remembered my instructors, their voices echoing in my mind. 1 shot, 1 kill. Make it count. But I wasn't here to kill. I was here to send a message, loud and clear. I aimed for the padlock on the shed door, a small, intricate target. Squeeze, don't pull. The shot cracked through the night, surprisingly loud, and the padlock exploded into pieces. The men froze, their heads whipping around, panic etched on their faces. "Get out!" I called out, my voice low and steady, amplified by the stillness of the night. "Get off my land, and don't ever come back." The man with the pistol fumbled for his weapon, his eyes darting wildly. I didn't hesitate. I fired again, this time at the ground just inches from his feet. Dust and gravel flew up, stinging his ankles. He yelped, dropping his pistol as if it were a burning coal. "You hear me?" I repeated, my voice now laced with an edge of steel. "This is your only warning. Next time, I won't miss." They didn't need a third warning. They scrambled, tripping over each other in their haste, abandoning their tools and their bravado. They disappeared into the darkness as fast as they could run, leaving behind only the lingering scent of fear and the broken padlock. I stayed put for a long time after they were gone, watching, listening. When I was sure they wouldn't be returning, I lowered my rifle, the tension slowly bleeding out of me. I retrieved the discarded pistol, careful to handle it by the grip, and went back inside. Lily was still sleeping soundly, a faint smile on her face. I stood over her crib, just watching her, feeling the profound weight of my decision. This life, this peace, it was worth fighting for. And I knew, with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that if they ever came back, I would be ready. The farm might look quiet, but beneath the surface, the Green Beret sniper was still very much alive.